Hello and welcome to the Arsenal Bite Size Podcast. I'm your host, Clayton. Welcome back. And here we go. We are ready for the campaign of 25-26. It begins at Old Trafford. To preview the game, I'm joined by Uncle Mike. How are you doing?
Let's do this.
Let's do this indeed. How
Mate,
are you feeling?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. It's it just feels like it feels like the season was like ages away, wasn't it, to start? And now it's like shit, man. We're 24 hours away from the first, and almost 24, more than 24 hours on the first kickoff. So yeah, it's just it'll be good to get going because I think there's a lot to get into. Um, so yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think we spoke about this on the season preview pod the other day, but I think I was feeling a little bit drained from last season and kind of welcomed the break this summer. Obviously, me personally, I was in another country, so that helped me completely reset. I was away from the negativity, and then I physically went to watch us against Bilbao, and I'm now like chomping at the bit. Like, let me watch us in the Premier League now. And unfortunately, I've not got a ticket to physically go to Old Trafford, so I'll be in the pub, but I'm just at that stage now where I'm like, I just want to see us kick the ball and like do our thing. So I'm feeling good, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see how you feel about Man United, to be honest. So we'll get straight into it. So what we usually do for people that are new here is the previews are usually very short. We do predicted lineups, bit of tactical matchups and score predictions. They're usually 15, 20 minutes or so. So we will go straight into predicted lineups. Before we give our one, what I want to do is I want to actually look at what Man United's last lineup was in their final preseason game against Fiorentina. So they actually drew 1-1. It went to penalties in that game. I don't know who won that. Oh, Man United won 5-4 on penalties. But United's lineup for that game was a back three system. So it was Bayender in goal. Don't know how you pronounce that. Back three was Yoro Maguire, Aiden Heaven. The wing backs were Amad Diallo and Dorgu. The midfield two was Casemiro and Bruno, and then it was Mbeumo and Cunha behind a false nine of Mason Mount. So, like, we're not going to bother going through what we think they'll do or anything, but just so you have that in mind when you say what you think the Arsenal 11 will be, and obviously the Arsenal 11 that started against Bilbao. As a reminder for people, it was Raya in goal, it was Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, it was Zubamendi, Rice, and Odegaard, and it was Saka, Gyökeres, and Martinelli up front. I guess the question to start with, to ease you into it, if you can call it that, do you think there'll be any changes to the starting 11 that sets foot at Old Trafford?
I do.
Ooh.
I do.
It's worth saying we're going in blind, right? To timestamp
Yeah.
this, it is currently, what time is it? 1:25 p.m. on Thursday. So Arteta's presser will probably be tomorrow. So if anyone listening to this after, yeah, we are going in blind.
Yeah. I'd like to think that Arteta does that. He plays the expected lineup in his last or the friendly, but part of me is thinking, why would you do that? Why would you give United a week's worth of scouting to do necessarily on such a huge game? Now, I'm not. Maybe that's me overthinking it, but the only change I could possibly see is, and I wanted to ask you about it, is can you see a world in where Timber goes to left back to combat a threat down that side? Yeah, because as much as MLS is great, and he locked up players in the last season, but we all know, I believe, Timber is our number one-on-one specialist. The last thing you want is Mbeumo getting the sail in his wind in the sails, and he's like suddenly flying down that touchline, skidding MLS. I'm not saying that will happen, but that's one change that I could see is Timber going that
he did
side.
put Timber at left back for like 10 minutes against Bilbao.
Exactly, and that's what made me think about, like, and then it just locks down their main threat because they have got a new front three. Whether all three play, Amorim has already said, I believe, that Cunha and Mbeumo are only 50-60% fit.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, so he said that. Šeško, we got no idea if he starts. You could see a situation where he absolutely does start, but you could also see a situation. But who else were they going to play if he doesn't start?
Well, that's
You
why I
know?
looked at their last game. So it was Mason Mount that played as
Yeah,
like a false nine, and I could almost see them doing that, to be honest. Especially if Shesko's not fully ready with Mount as that false nine. That's more of a defensive ploy, right? Like kind of pressing from the front, extra
yeah.
midfielder to drop in and prevent those overloads against the three that we would have in there too. So I could see them just doing that again, to be honest.
So that's the one change I could see is possibly Timber
Okay.
on the left hand side, and then you're going into combos with who plays on the left wing. If you were playing Timber on the left wing, do you play Martinelli? I don't think Trossard is going to be involved. If there's current rumours of Villa possibly being interested, I wouldn't invite. If you are sitting, well, I think we do need to sell Trossard, so I wouldn't want him anywhere near the matchday team squad possibly. But the big one for me is Madueke or Martinelli.
Okay.
We know there's a lot of attention on Martinelli at the moment, rightly or wrongly. Some of it's over the top, some of it's you can say is constructive. That's one for me is will Arteta go in and surprise? Has Madueke had enough time in the Arteta training system to fully get it from minute one? Where you are asking Martinelli, you're relying on Martinelli to do a lot of the good work that he does backtracking. So that's my indecision at the moment is on the left hand side. What two players? I think everything else will be the same, but the left
So you
hand
think
side.
Gyökeres up top, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the more I thought about it this week, the more why not? Why? Again, it goes to does Arteta stick with the safe option or does he take that risk? And it's not a risk, but it's the unusual one. Is Havertz is the safe option. You know what Havertz is going to give you. Does he feel long that we've been? I suppose it all depends on the training ground this week, doesn't it? If it's all looking good and they are adapting and adjusting with those early balls through to Gyökeres, why wouldn't you start him? What do you think on that one?
Yeah, I share the same dilemmas as you. One thing that is worth noting, so Calafiori did go off at half time last week against Bilbao, right? And I've not seen anything if that was just pure tactical or if that was an injury concern or not. But I share the same confusion over what we'll do in the fullback and the wide area, especially because I think Timber will definitely start. Whether it's at right back or left back, I don't know. Just because, like you say, he's probably our best 1v1 defender. So I think he's either at left back or right back for exactly that. And also, I think the Ben White overlap thing, I think that's more of like a Leeds at home kind of game where you want that. So I'm not sure that that's what we're going to be wanting. But then having said that, I think when I think of Man United, I always think of transition games, basketball games. And while I do think they'll be more exciting going forward this year, they set up in a back three, back five that is quite compact usually in these big games. And we saw it last year. It was one of his first games, wasn't it, Amrim, when he came to the Emirates? And we did struggle to pick that lock in that first half. So on the left back thing, I'm really torn between Miles and Calafiori, not in what I would do, in the sense of what I think the manager will do. Because I think with Miles, you do have that kind of, he'll tuck in, he's press resistant, he'll drive through the middle of the park and attract people to him. So therefore, it maybe opens up space for someone out wide. And if they are playing that back three, back five, you want the space being in between the wing back and the outside centre back. And that, to me, screams Martinelli, like drifting it, like, you know what we did against Bilbao, where Calafiori held the width, Martinelli went a bit more inside. Like, I really like that as a template, as opposed to Miles inside and a Martinelli or a Madueke on the outside. I almost want it the other way round for this. Whereas and I guess it goes both ways against those deep blocks, where even against a back four, I almost don't mind if Miles is the one on the inside and you've got the winger hugging the width, because then you isolate the winger 1v1 potentially. But for this game alone, I think it's how much risk does he want to go with? I almost think I don't think he'll go with Timber at left back. I think if he does go with a left back, it's going to be Calafiori or Miles and I
Because
think
they
if he
could both
goes,
do similar. They both can both play that role, can't they? That they
well,
can drive
yeah, and
through the
I
middle
think it's
in
how much,
different ways. But yeah,
yeah, and how much risk does he want to take? Like, I think if he goes Calafiori, he's like, I'm going for it. Whereas if
yeah,
he does want to be a little bit conservative, and I'm not even sure that's a word you would do associate with Miles, but I
no,
do think he's the better 1v1 defender than Calafiori. So
yes, yeah,
I'm torn on that. I also share the same thing on like the knock-on impact it has on the left winger. I think he'll go tried and tested. I think
yeah,
Madueke is the thing we may see maybe against Leeds. I think Man United, I think he's pretty much going to go tried and tested, which
yeah,
is interesting. If you asked me prior to last week, I think I was on Havertz all summer to start
mm,
game week 1 away at Old
same,
Trafford. Just
same.
not just his ability to kind of run the channels, be a nuisance, which Gyökeres can also do, but his pressing from the front and his defensive ability. Because I do think against Man United, we want to pin them, we want to make them uncomfortable. While they have attacking threat, I do still think in their first and middle phases, they're potentially vulnerable. And I do think you can nick it off of Casemiro. I think Bruno's fantastic,
You
but yeah, go on.
you can nick it off Euro as well. I want to see that stick insect get smashed
Heaven.
up by. Yeah, I want to see the stick insect get smashed up by Big Vic, just like
Who's the stick insect?
Euro.
All right.
Yeah, man, the little stick insect. So I just want to get him moved about the pitch, smash him up a little bit. Because you know, again, he likes to put his foot on the ball and play it around. So I think if Gyökeres can offer you something different in that, I mean, so Kai can as well. But I just think the direct running gives down that left channel with the Martinelli possibly coming on the inside, because there was a little bit of that on Saturday, which is quite nice to see. That could give that back three a bit more of a problem than Kai just being sort of the focal point and the battering ram and dropping back, because I think those two centre halves can quite relish that sort of side. But it's a nice prospect to have, as in Havertz coming on with 20 minutes to go isn't a bad thing. But
Well, it's
I do
funny that.
think I do think he will start with Vic.
Yeah, and then we'll go into, if you had to put money on it, what you think the team will be in a second. But I think Havertz is one where, like, I feel happy with him starting any game. To be honest, I really like him. But
Same.
if I want an option off the bench, having not seen him play for us much, it would be a Gyökeres rather than a Havertz. Like, I don't think if we're chasing a game, I'll be like, yeah, Havertz is the one. Even though I think he would positively contribute in the final third.
Yeah.
Whereas with Gyökeres, I'm a bit like, yeah, if you want a goal, I think, and you see him warming up, I think the defenders will be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
again, is that thinking way too conservatively? Is that like, oh yeah, we'll keep it tight, and if we need a goal, like maybe it is just a case of like, we are good, we're better than them. Just go there, play our game, forget all these different permutations and situations. Just go win the game.
It would be nice to go back to Fast FC as well, wouldn't it? And just like
We
break
saw that
out.
on Saturday, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. And that may be something new, and that may go into a way of thinking with Gyökeres up front as well. Is that be someone that's more clinical with their finishing, and get the second goal and get the third goal, because that's been our downfall. Was that there were so many top points last season that we dropped where we were 1-0 up.
Yeah.
And we just never put the game to bed. So is that a new thing? Well, not a new thing, but is that something that we might do again? Is blow teams. 2-3 years ago, we were blowing teams away in the first 20-25 minutes, and then you can bring on your Norgards and your Madueke to keep the Marino to lock the game down. So that'd be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, I think one thing I'm thinking about as the game pans out and stuff, the one nervousness I've got about Calafiori, like, which I don't care about when it's Bilbao at home, Leeds and stuff, because I back us to manage the territory. But with Man United and a passing ability from deep of Bruno and runners like Bumo, Mount, like they will go from deep to the middle final third and expand the pitch very quickly. And I think Calafiori, understandably, with the role he plays, leaves a lot of space. And I'm wondering, maybe that will be a slight concern. But I don't know. I think they're the concerns out there. If you had to nail Go on. Were you going to say something?
No, I that's exactly what I was going to, and that sort of led to my thinking of why, again, we are we overthinking this is for all the good that Calafiori or MLS can do in that position. Timber can equally offer different things, but also the security of locking down that left side with balls like that, because the we do not want to drop a point. Well, drop a draw. A draw would be a disaster. A draw.
Do you think?
Yeah, man.
I think it would be in the context of the narrative.
Context, yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about is the online narrative is so bad at the moment that I actually think if we won 2-0, 2-1, they still won't be happy because
then you can't
play.
You can't.
But I just think it's so important. We need a convincing win, which is bloody obvious. But for Arteta to, if you're locking me down, I'll go Timber. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'll go. I think what the manager will do. I think he'll play Timber at left back, right at right, same, and that'll be and I'll go Martinelli. I'll agree with what you said about going safe. Go Martinelli, and that's why you can go safe in every other position, as in lock it down, and then you have Gyökeres up front as your wild card rather than the safe option of Havertz. So that's what I'd go for. That's what I think. I think that's what he would go for, because I just think it offers you the security of locking down that left both wings. Because Cunha and Mbeumo can be tricky customers, So with the passing ability of Fernandez, so you don't want to be 1-0 down with all that. So yeah,
fair play. So Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Zubamendi, Odegaard, Rice, Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli.
Yeah. I have heard, and I don't know if you these things that come up on the internet. No one's seen Zubamendi since, or in pictures, or in media, not as in no one's seen him on the training ground, but it hasn't been seen since the Bilbao game.
Oh, don't start this.
But I know, that's exactly what you don't want to be reading, and then we can overthink it. But then it becomes, well, should we know what leaks out of Arsenal? If they'd been in, we always hear those little whispers of it. Nothing's been said about an injury. It's just because there's a media day yesterday, apparently, and he wasn't there. Even Reece Nelson was there, Hine was there,
I saw
Vieira was there, but no Zubamendi. Now, whether he done his pictures when he done, but it's just something that I heard. Would it be typical Arsenal? First game of the season, we find out the day before that he's not. I hope it's just day off or something personal, or we're not involved in trading picks. Let's hope we see something today. And of course, we're doing this before the press conference, so we're clutching here.
Yeah, I hope there's nothing in there, because like I was saying the other day, like the midfield group now with the sixes, we've gone from 2 ball players in Partey and Jorginho to 1 in Zubamendi. Like, I don't class Rice as a ball playing 6, in my opinion. No. So that would be a concern for me, but hopefully that's nothing. If I had to, you're talking me into the Timber left back. It just makes so much sense. It really makes so much sense. But then I'm a bit like, is that just giving them too much respect? And then I'm thinking, by that in itself, is that just me being too arrogant? And I think without overthinking the different pods and the different units and different combos, I think he'll just go for the same team because of how fluid it looked. And I think it's no matter what the threat of the opposition, even the quality of the attack they've now got, I do think if we're able to play our game in all phases, all areas of the pitch, we should be able to minimize their threat to something that is controllable, no matter who's out there. So that's why I think I'll go for the same team that started against Bilbao, which was obviously Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, Martinelli. And in terms of matchups, it's annoying in a way that Šeško's not ready, because I kind of want him to play, because I do think them starting with Mount as a false 9 has a big impact in terms of him being able to drop in and form a 3 with Casemiro and Bruno against our 3. I think if it was Odegaard, Zubamendi and Rice against Casemiro, Bruno, we'd have 3v2s everywhere, but Mount dropping in is a little bit annoying. So my mate Andrew's in the chat. he's supportive of Timber left back for this game. Some good signings. First home game against a big rival. United are going to come out absolutely swinging, ride the storm out and pick them off after. Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair, rather than us going and dictating to them.
Because they're confident. They're confident up here. They're suddenly they're buoyed. They're up for it. You know, it's been quite observational of assessing the mood since May to even a week ago. You know, I work in an office full of them, and they were all sort of fairly down, and then suddenly we're going to win. No, they're not quite that bad, but it's like, and they're, you know, that's what football does to you. But with a completely new front three, there is reason to be optimistic. But with that same midfield and the defence, I mean, what do you think about you know, we're sort of tweaking it with Rice switching those long cross-field switches to get the ball to Saka quicker.
Yeah.
Do you think that will have much joy on Sunday down that side? Because it'll be up against Shaw, but it's up against Shaw.
No, yeah, it was. It was Dorgu and Heaven.
Dorgu and Heaven.
Yeah, so Heaven was the left centre back. Dorgu was the left wing back. But like, I don't know. Just because I don't think when you've got a back four, if your right back gets pulled over, then the back three, like the two centre backs and the left back, kind of shift over. I think that's where the space is. When it's a back five, you've got an extra man in there, so I don't think the space will be like. I think the switch will be on sometimes, but maybe not as exaggerated as it was against Bilbao. But yeah. I know I just said I think the team will be the same, but the more I've heard you and what Andrew say, I would not be shocked at all to see Timber starting at left back and White at right back in this game. But for the sake of the prediction, I'll stick with what I think, which is what the same 11 was that came out against Bilbao. Score predictions. We spoke a little bit there about concerns, matchups, how we should maybe start the game. How are you feeling? What do you think it will be?
Firstly, I just hope that there's no controversy, that there's no insane refereeing decisions or VAR getting involved, because we really don't want another season of having that just having that, you know, because it can become an excuse, whether it's an excuse or an explanation of context. And I just look. Firstly, I look at the officials that are. Have you seen who's on the officials this week? Simon Hooper, Paul Tierney, and Jared Gillett, who is a Liverpool fan who cannot manage or ref Liverpool games, but sent off Saliba last year, 2 weeks before we played Liverpool. And who do we play in 2 weeks' time?
So I'm starting the season with I've got no conspiracies in my head. I'm starting the season until I get given a reason.
That's what I said. I hope it's nothing like that, right? So let's just have a game that goes without controversy, because otherwise it just feeds that fire for a lot of Arsenal fans. And whether we take it too far, or some people just completely Arsenal fans, no, it doesn't matter, it does, you know, whatever. But just don't give us anything to feed it. So I will go. We've got a fairly good record of not losing there, but we've got a very poor record of winning there.
Do you want to know exactly what the record is?
I believe it's 2 in 20 years or something?
On FOTMob, if I filter
3,
just
one
by
with an FA Cup.
Yeah, we've just won 2 games in the Premier League there.
And one with the FA Cup.
We've lost 8. Yeah, FA Cup was the 3rd win, but just in the league, only 2.
Oh, yeah, I'm so scarred by going to that stadium, mate. I was at the 8-2. I was at the 8-2.
Seen what?
So I stayed till the end at the 8-2, but it still gives me bad memories, that stadium. So
you seen what Andrew's put in the chat?
No.
Scenes when United get a corner after Raya holds on for 7 seconds.
I've already said to a Chelsea fan today, he sent through the rules and said, look, I said, guarantee you the first goalkeeper to be punished by that will be Raya on Sunday. You know it's going to happen, and then they'll probably score from it. But I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. And 2-1. That 2-1, how do you see that panning out? Is that a comfortable 2-1? Is that a squeaky bum time 2-1?
I don't think we ever, no matter where we are both in the league, it's never ever comfortable for either. Well, an 8-2 against us was fairly fucking comfortable, but
Yeah.
we were never comfortable against them, no matter, because the hatred for both clubs, it's there, man. Still today, there is the biggest rivalry. I don't care about City and Liverpool, that all shit. It's Arsenal United, and we hate each other. It's turned into a bit of respect, and as we've fallen, both of the clubs in the last few years, and we've almost become that mate that you sort of nod at in the club when the two geezers are putting the two nicest women at the bar, and you're sort of two ugly fuckers at the back, and you just nod at each other and go, "Oh, we're stuck here, are we, mate?" Well, City and Liverpool win everything, and Chelsea. We, I think it will go 1-1 and a late winner from us. Yeah, 1-1 and a winner from us with 10 to go.
I have got a horrible feeling, like Andrew said, with the good signings. It's their first home game against, like you just said, big rival in which we are. They'll come out swinging. I've got a horrible feeling they'll snatch a first goal. And
yeah.
I then think, okay, what are we made
we'll
of?
Settle down. Yeah.
No, but like, what are we made of then if that happens? And I'm like, I want to predict us to come back and win, but I think they will be so up for it that if we go 1-0 down, I almost don't think we'll win. I could see us coming back to get a draw, but I don't think we'll win. But that's not what I'm predicting. That's just in the Marvel universe, the multiverse. That's one world I can see. In my one, see, I'm predicting us to win, but
that could so easily happen. What you just said, and that's quite scary.
Do you know what my thing is, I'm an overthinker, so I'm playing all these different scenarios of what could happen. But then this always happens with me. I watch us kick off if we're on it, and I'm like, oh, I take a breath.
We'll know within 2 minutes, won't we?
Yeah, but it's like I take a breath and I see my football team, and I'm like, yeah, we're fucking good, and we pop teams around, and I think. I just want to see that, like, start composed, no sloppy passing, no underhit passes, no million-second studs on the ball between Raya, Saliba. Like, just move it around, pass it around, be fluid.
And that's why I think, sorry, mate, I think going back to MLS, it's been recently, MLS does, I think Clive said it recently on the pod, that MLS, it sort of tends to slow the game down a little bit because he's looking for the contact, looking to slow the momentum down, get the free kicks. We want the flow at Old Trafford. We don't want to be giving them free kicks or that. So I think that's even more of a
very good point.
Even more of a reason to play Timber. And also you want the transit, against the Newcastle and the Bilbao, we seem to be we've always done it, but the press has even improved even more. We're winning the ball a lot higher up. And I think Timber they can both do it, but Timber's a lot more of a bit of a clean tackler, whereas MLS gets into a bit more collisions and where to get the free kick, when to get the free kick. And I also think there'll be a hell of a lot of scrutiny on Timber on that game. He's got a mark, on MLS. He's got a thing above his head from media, from opposition fans. I know you shouldn't do it, but I just think it wouldn't be a bad idea to sit him out in the first game of the season, because if he has a stinker...
Yeah, everyone's watching.
That's it. Not that's it, but I just think it could set the season off for him in a bit of a disappointing way. So, what's your prediction, mate?
Yeah, I know we're not doing lineups anymore, but like that's a really good point about the flow. To the point where it's made me actually think about Calafiori more than Timber, because I think Timber's more similar to Miles in how he plays that role. But on the score prediction, if I had to put money on it, I'd go 2-1 to the Arsenal as well. Right now, I could see it in the world I'm hoping that I see. We go ahead, we go 2-0 up. We're fairly comfortable, but like their attack is good. They'll create chances. They'll get a good enough chance or two to score, and I think they will. So yeah, 2-1 to the Arsenal. Bobby's in. Hello, mate. He says 8-0 Arsenal win. Calafiori hat trick. Tommy Gunn was also in earlier. He said afternoon all. So I hope we're both right. I do think it's one of them.
I hope Bobby's right.
Yeah, same. Like, that would be nice if we could get off to an absolute flyer. And like I don't know.
It'll be so important. It's massive. It is huge. We get a good result for people on this game, just to set the vibes, just to set unite the fan base again, because it's every single game this season will be a referendum about Arteta. every game. So
And
we
that's why
need to
there's no
make
such
sure
thing as a must win in game week 1, but I do think like just all eyes are on
don't
Anfield game
lose.
week 3. So like go
Yeah.
to Old Trafford, win. Hopefully thump Leeds. Like just
Yeah.
arrive at Anfield in a certain manner where like you're
6
off to a
points
strong
under your
start.
belt, and if you get a draw there, then I'll take that and I'll move on and we'll move on. And then you go and then just long, So yeah, that's what we need to do. Just got to go and do it now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, fingers crossed. 4:30 on Sunday. At Old Trafford. That's how we kick off the season. Like we said there, I think we shared a little bit of nerves, but I do think it's one of them. If we play our game, don't play the occasion. Just remember who we are, how we're positioned, and like the personnel that we've now got as well. Stick to our patterns. We should be all right. But I think it's good that we acknowledge their threat because we don't want to just be like naive and blind to it.
No,
And
I think they'll score. I think they'll score. So yeah, I think they'll score.
Well, Tommy doesn't. He's saying 1-0 to the Arsenal. So let's hope he's right. Andrew's got the final question of the show. Has anyone got any coping mechanisms for the glazing Sky Sports will give United pre-game?
Don't watch it. Find yourself a decent book and listen to that before. One last question, but just before everyone, FPL. Quick FPL. Well, who's you got?
I've got
3.
I've got 2. I've got Saka and Gabriel. I think I'll look to get the third. I think it's after game week 6 where our fixtures look pretty nice. Game week 7 onwards. But Saka, I think, is so
overlooked. No one's putting him in.
I think he's going to explode this season. I think he was on the verge of exploding last season if it weren't for the injury. His assists were through the roof. I think goals and assists are coming for a big one this year.
And I think the fact that Gyökeres can just take players from over the other side and it saves doubling up on Saka, I think you're going to see a huge uplift in that. So are you putting him in instead of Palmer?
No, I've got both.
Yes, so
Palmer and Saka.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, right, mate.
No
Sorry
Salah. No,
Salah.
Good.
I'm going Salah as well.
No, I haven't got Salah or Haaland. So we'll see how we get on. Bobby said Saka's underrated. He'll get the space he'll get the space against all except maybe Newcastle's. He's just got Saka in his team. Greg is in. He said can't wish us luck this week. I'm assuming that means he's a Man United fan. So fair play to you for tuning in, Greg.
Cheers, mate. Thanks, Greg. We understand, mate. No, but don't take it personal.
All right, lovely stuff, everyone. That's a 30-minute wrap-up preview of the 25-26 campaign, our first game as we travel to Old Trafford on Sunday. For those of you traveling up there, safe travels. I know the trains look like a bit of a nightmare, so I hope you get there and back in one piece. Be loud and proud as always. For anyone that is watching live, thanks for making yourself known. Drop the stream a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 400 subs. And for anyone listening on audio, please give us a 5-star review on whatever platform you listen to. It always goes a long way. For anyone watching back, make yourself known in the comments. Let us know what your score predictions are, what you think about the lineup. Left back, right back, left wing, striker seems to be the deliberation. So let us know. But once again, thanks all for tuning in. Let's go and get off to a flyer. Let's hopefully make this year our year. Up the Arsenal.
I'm on you, Reds.